The cost of fuel and diesel went up at midnight last night. Many organizations now calling for reform in the fuel industry to ease the strain on the pockets of South Africans. Well, for more on this, we're joined by the General Industries Workers Union of South Africa President Mametlwe Sebei. Good evening to you, and thank you so much for your time. So I see here that you're going beyond just calling for reform, but you also want to try and bring together union civil society organizations to take a unified stand against these increases.
Yes, you would know that in the past few weeks, GUSA has been engaging number of unions as well as community organizations and activists to build what we call a cost of living, campaign to confront the crisis in the escalation of the prices of the basic necessities, and energy prices being amongst one of them, but also the food inflation that is skyrocketing and reaching astronomical proportions.
So when you then call for reform, what do you want this reform to look like? So what does reform entail in the industry right now?
Look, insofar as energy is concerned, I mean, it is very clear that we can't leave, the supply of energy to private corporations that are driven by profiteering. If you consider the current crisis at the present moment, there is absolutely no reason why we should be paying for a higher price for oil produced by Sasol using an input, all of which is sourced locally. And we are saying that to the extent that the government might not have a control over, imported inflation of oil, what they must then do is high time that we take Sasol back into public ownership, and we do believe that we could be able to utilize the profits that are, the profits of Sasol, which are being suffered off by a few investors and shareholders of Sasol, to ensure that we subsidize the cost of energy and the cost of oil and other other fuels for the working class and poor people.
When you look at the state of SOEs, what is the business case to take an entity like Sasol and put it back into public hands?
We have said repeatedly that the kind of nationalization that we have in mind is not what we are having with Eskom and other state-owned entities that obviously, are managed and of course controlled in the interest of profit-driven corporations. We are saying that Sasol must be taken under public ownership, but on the basis of the democratic control and management of the working class. We have called in relation to Eskom that board of directors must resign, and we must have a representative of communities, of trade unions, and of course of workers of Eskom to ensure that Eskom is managed but also planned in such a way that we can be able to roll out cheap, affordable, but also renewable energy to our communities. And the same thing would apply to Sasol.
All right. Mametlwe Sebei, we're going to leave it there for tonight. A difficult case to make, especially when there's so few entities that do show what is possible when some of these SOEs are then run by the public service.